guys, welcome to today's episode of Talking Decon. To my left here, we have a new member of Talking Decon, Toni Harvey, who does our franchise development. And then to my right is Fiona Mills, who's our franchise ramp-up coach. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Getting ready to go on a flight to Austin to visit some peeps, and what are you up to?
I've never been to Texas.
Oh,
actually.
never
I've
been to
always
the
wanted
whole
to go.
state of Texas.
No,
Wow.
I need to make it that way.
Austin's the best part.
Is it?
Yeah. Hands down the best part. So, yeah. So we had an awesome Discovery Day yesterday, met some great candidates, and we're going to be expanding into some states that we're not currently in, which is awesome.
Good. Yeah.
Yep.
So, what do you have today? What are we talking about?
All right. So today I've got Dennis Rader, otherwise known as the BTK Killer.
Know him well.
So BTK stands for bind, torture, and kill.
This was somewhat of a recent case.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, I was actually living in Kansas when this was happening.
So it was between 1974 and 1991.
Mhm.
So you just aged yourself with that one.
Mm-hmm.
He killed 10 people and sent taunting letters to the police and the newspaper with like full detail of his crimes. So he was born in March 1945. He was one of four.
Spring chicken.
Yeah.
He's still a boomer, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both his parents worked long hours and paid little attention to their kids. He described that he felt ignored by his mother and ended up resenting her.
Okay.
So,
There's a pattern there.
yeah.
And I must point out, he also has a 5-finger forehead.
Yes. Yes, he does.
That's my
Really?
theory, that serial killers have a 5-finger forehead. And so far, I've been right on
Tony's-
all of them.
I was like, should I?
No. So
Okay.
far, I've been right except for one.
Who's that?
The African-American guy, the only
From
African-American.
Miami? That
Yes.
one? Yeah.
Yes, he's the only one.
So at a young age, he started fantasizing about torturing trapped and helpless women. Like that became just like his thing. He started torturing and killing small animals. Spied on female neighbors. He dressed in women's clothing.
Ooh, that part I didn't know.
He would wear women's underwear that he had stolen from women.
Ah, okay.
And would masturbate actually with ropes and bindings around his arms and his neck.
Interesting.
So,
That's a fetish, though.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
actually quite common.
but if it stays as a fetish, that's fine, right? As if it
Right.
goes further. So, during his cooling off periods, in between murders, he would actually take photos of himself wearing women's clothing, and also with a mask that made him look like a female.
What did he do with the photos?
He would just take photos and like masturbate to himself,
Wow.
Awesome.
as you do.
Different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He actually admitted that he would pretend to be his victims as part of a sexual fantasy.
Oh, okay.
So, but he actually kept it well hidden. He was known as normal, polite, and well-mannered
Yep.
in the neighborhood. So he attended Kansas University after high school. Pretty decent grades. Dropped out after 1 year. He worked for Coleman, the camping Coleman.
Oh, okay.
Worked for them. Worked for security services. He actually installed security alarms as part of his job,
Shocking. I feel like that's.
while a lot of the homeowners were in fear of the BTK Killer.
Oh, God.
Wow.
So he was doing that while, he was killing. So he became a dog catcher, worked for the city. A lot of the neighbors said that he was overzealous and extremely strict when it came to his work and dogs and everything like that. But he was known for actually bullying and harassing single women. One neighbor actually complained that he had killed her dog for no reason at all.
Oh, my God.
So
Wow.
January 1974, 4 members of the Otero, I'm probably messing that up, family was murdered in Kansas. It was a 38-year-old, 33-year-old, 9-year-old, and an 11-year-old.
Jesus.
Their bodies was discovered by the family's 3 older children who had been in school at the time of the killings.
Well, that's not his normal MO.
No. It was just a random killing.
Oh, it was
that he
random?
did. Yeah.
In their home?
Yep. In their home. Between the spring of 74 and winter of 77, he killed 3 more women. Catherine Bright, Shirley Relford, and Nancy Fox.
What do you do with their bodies?
He just left them.
Oh, so he
Is what I
breaks into their home and then
yeah,
kills
like
them?
I was looking it up because there wasn't too much detail on them.
Yeah.
But he would just murder him and just leave him.
Did he have like a certain age group for the women?
No.
He's got mommy issues.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. In 78, he sent a letter to a TV station claiming responsibility for the murders of everyone that I just listed. Suggested many possible names for himself, including the one that stuck, BTK.
Okay.
So he demanded media attention in his second letter. It was finally announced to the public that they did indeed have a serial killer at large. He wrote a letter, and in it he claimed he was driven to kill by Factor X, which he characterized as a supernatural element that also motivated Jack the Ripper, the son of Sam, and the Hillside Strangler murders.
Not
Factor X is what he calls it.
Yep.
Which is
Factor X.
essentially translated, that means a loose screw in your head.
Pretty
Yes.
much.
Okay.
He also intended to kill others. There was actually a lady that he was stalking. She was 63, Anna Williams. He was actually stalking her, but she escaped death because she actually returned home later than expected. So she broke her normal routine.
And he lived in, if I remember correctly, like Wichita, Kansas, right?
Yes.
Which is a very small, nothing town. I actually know another crazy person that lives there. Like we're probably going to end up talking about here in the next 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. So that town is just like everybody knows everybody. It's tiny.
They said it's pretty safe. Like I looked up the town because I'd never heard of it.
Nothing happens there.
Yeah.
But
like
wouldn't that be the great environment, like the safest place where you won't expect any of this will happen, and then it happens?
But it's America.
Yeah,
We're a country of murderers.
Yeah. So he was stalking her, and apparently he got just absolutely livid because he spent hours at her home waiting, and he got so impatient because she didn't come back at her regular time that he just left, like pissed off. So she technically got away.
Oh my God.
So then you have Maureen Hedge, who was 53, found on May 5th, 1985. I don't know if you're familiar with the town. It was at East 53rd Street North, between North Webb Road and North Greenwich Road.
No.
He killed, so she was found on May 5th, but he killed her on April 27th.
Oh, damn. That was a long time.
Took her dead body to his church, the Christ Lutheran Church, where he was actually the president of the church council. Photographed her body in various bondage positions. He had
the church. Like he could have just done this at her house.
Yeah. So he actually stored black plastic sheets and other materials at the church in preparation for the murder.
Oh my. This was very well planned out.
Right.
Yeah. So he took her to the church, did what he did, and then dumped her body in a ditch.
Now, was there any sexual assaults in any of these? Or was it just bind, torture, kill?
No, mainly just bind, torture, kill.
So
like he was
like
well
he's
known.
masturbating on his own, but he has no sexual contact with any of the.
Like usually there's like something,
right?
Or that's like the main focus, but for him it really wasn't. It was just the killing.
And it seems like he likes the cat and mouse chase with the police.
Yeah.
Right.
So with Maureen Hedge, he actually called that Project Cookie, is what he named that killing.
Did you say cookie?
Cookie.
Why?
I don't know why. I tried to look
He
it up
never
because I'm like,
explained that?
why
Yeah.
Project Cookie? And I couldn't find anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So in 88, a letter was received from someone claiming to be the killer, in which he denied being the perpetrator of some of the murders. The author credited the killer as having done admirable work. It was not proven until 2005 that this letter was in fact written by Rader, but he is not considered by police to have committed some of the crimes that they were actually putting on him.
Okay.
2 women that Rader stalked in the 1980s actually put restraining orders on him.
Oh, so they were aware of it.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, he was married.
He was married with kids.
Yes. So he was
He
leading
was,
this cookie cutter life.
He was a family man, so he was well known in the church.
Yep.
He was a Cub Scout leader.
Yep.
That's dangerous.
He was just honestly like your average Joe.
Joe.
You would never think
So do you
anything
typically
out of the
see
norm.
that with those type of killers? Like,
I mean,
they just
they blend in pretty well, but this guy,
Some blend, some don't. But I have noticed that there's a lot of like family men or family women, and they're just living like a double life. Like it's just
so she had no idea.
no,
Okay.
apparently not.
Wow.
So in 2004, so he stopped killing. His last victim was Dolores Davis. She was found in 1991. That was his last victim.
Right. He had a big gap, right?
Yeah. So 2004, it pretty much became a cold case. There was nothing at all happened. But then in 2004, he initiated a series of 11 different types of communication to social media, to like public media.
Oh, okay.
Like
news
radio,
channels and
news channel
radio
stuff. Yeah.
Was he like mailing them letters or?
Yes. So, a newspaper received a letter from someone using the name Bill Thomas Kilman. The author of the letter claimed that he had murdered Vicky Wiegeler, probably messing that up too,
Yeah.
in 1986, and he actually enclosed photographs of the crime and a photocopy of her driver's license,
Ooh.
which had been stolen at the time of the crime.
Ah.
Before this, it was not definitely established that she was killed by BTK.
Sounds like he's bored.
Yeah.
Like he's wanting this.
I'm
chase.
just wondering why he stopped.
It's the thrill of the chase, maybe? Maybe there was something like were his kids born during that period?
I think so. I think
There
there was
you
one
go.
kid
Yeah.
that came out then.
That probably had something to do with it.
So, DNA that was collected from under her fingernails provided police with previously unknown evidence. But in 2004, they began DNA testing hundreds of men in the effort to find the killer. Overall, tested 1,300 men, which later all of that was destroyed by court order. They just got rid of it, yeah. But even
1,300 men, that's basically the entire city of Wichita.
and probably the outskirts.
Yeah,
too.
and probably the county as well.
So that was in March. In May, a television station received a letter with the chapter headings for the BTK Story, fake IDs, and a word puzzle. June 9th, a package was found taped to a stop sign at the corner of 1st and Kansas Road. It had graphic descriptions of the first murders and a sketch labeled, "The sexual thrill is my bill."
The sexual thrill is my bill.
Correct.
But he's not doing any really sexual acts to these people.
No, but he did like fantasize over torturing and, tying people up. Also enclosed was a chapter list for a proposed book titled The BTK Story, which actually mimicked a story that was written by Court TV in 99.
Not about him.
No,
Okay.
about other stuff. Chapter 1 was titled A Serial Killer is Born. So it's almost like he's
wanting to make himself nostalgic.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like he's trying to make himself
just a
into
boring,
something.
ordinary nothing. And he wants attention and he wants media. He
Yeah.
wants to be chased. He wants to feel significant.
Yeah, like he just needs that adrenaline.
Because mommy didn't think he was significant.
Exactly. So October 2004, he apparently stalked an intended victim. A manila envelope was dropped at a UPS box. It had many cards with images of terror and bondage of children pasted on them. Poem.
That's not his MO, is it?
Yeah.
No. It's almost like he was
Maybe there
doing
was-
anything he could to get the attention.
Was that him, though, or was that a copycat?
They claim it was him. Apparently, he admitted to it.
I wonder who the children were.
Right?
But he also enclosed a poem threatening the life of the lead investigator that was on the case.
Okay.
a false autobiography with many details apparently about his own life, but they were false. These details were later released to the public. So then in December 2004, the police received a package from the BTK Killer. This time the package was found at, how do you pronounce it? The Wichita Murdoch Park. It had the driver's license of Nancy Fox, which was noted as stolen from the crime scene, as well as a doll that was symbolically bound at the hands and feet and had a plastic bag tied over his head.
He's totally baiting him.
Yeah.
This is a cat and mouse game.
Yeah. So, January 2005, Rader attempted to leave a cereal box in the bed of a pickup truck at a Home Depot. But the box was actually discarded by the truck's owner. Like, they just thought it was regular trash, threw it away. It was later retrieved from the trash after Rader asked what had become of the cereal box. Surveillance tape at the parking lot from that date revealed a distant figure driving a black Jeep Cherokee, leaving the box in the pickup. February 2005, more postcards were sent to the media, and another cereal box left at a rural location was found to contain another bound doll. So then in his letters to police, he actually asked the police if he put a floppy disk in an envelope and gave it to him, could it be traced back to him? The police,
Like he sent a random anonymous letter and is asking him a question.
yes.
Hey guys, if I
Yes.
give you a floppy disk, like, can you catch me?
Yeah. Right?
He
so
wants to be caught so
I mean, they're
bad.
geniuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
it's like
begging
he
to be
wants
caught.
to be caught.
Yeah.
So the police actually answered his question in a newspaper ad
I remember
saying that it would be safe to use the disc. So then February 16th, he sent a purple 1.4 megabyte Memorex floppy disk, right, to a Fox News station. Enclosed was a letter, a gold-colored necklace with a large medallion, and a photocopy of the cover of Rules of Prey, a 1989 novel about a serial killer.
this. Okay.
So it's like he's just playing games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Police found that there was actually documents, a Microsoft Word document, on the floppy disk that he didn't know was there. So the Word document contained the words Christ Lutheran Church.
Oh my
And the
God.
document was last marked modified by Dennis.
Oh my
He just gave
God. What an
himself up.
idiot.
So an internet search determined that Dennis Rader was the president of the church
Uh-huh.
council. And when investigators drove to his house, they found a black Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
Just all
The type
makes
of vehicle
sense.
seen at Home Depot.
What an idiot.
And
Gave himself
obviously there was circumstantial evidence against him, but they did need more direct evidence to detain him. Police actually obtained a warrant to test the pap smear that was taken from his daughter to see if the DNA was similar to the DNA under the fingernails of the one lady that they found.
Wait, why
That-
couldn't they just take his DNA?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Why would they take his daughter's
Don't know.
DNA?
Why get her
I-
involved?
Like, how do you go that far? Like, I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But the DNA test showed that it was a familiar match between the pap smear and the sample from the fingernails, which indicated that the killer was closely related to the daughter. Combined with other evidence, it was enough for them to arrest him. So he's actually still in jail
Yes.
now, just
Mhm.
waiting.
What do you mean? I thought he had his
Like,
trial.
so initially, I guess he was given he was supposed to get the death
Yeah.
penalty,
Uh-huh.
but then they took off the death penalty, and he's just doing life. Is
Okay.
what I found.
Yeah, but didn't he provide, when he was interviewed, he gave them information, didn't
gave
he?
full details.
Yeah. See, he wanted to get caught.
Like a play-by-play, full details of everything.
And all he is serving is just life.
Did they find the photos that he was taking and the
Yes.
relics and stuff
Yep.
from people
Yeah, he had it in a box.
that was hidden in his house, if I remember correctly? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember when these newspaper articles would come out, they would post his letters in the newspaper, hoping that somebody could identify him.
Were they typed or handwritten? I couldn't find them when I was trying to.
Typed, I
They were
believe.
typed.
Yeah, they were typed. And this is a long time ago. I'm trying to remember this, but I thought he was working for a pest control company when he got caught. I could be wrong.
I didn't see
Was he
pets.
animal control?
He did work with dogs.
Was that the last job
For
that
the
he had,
city.
though?
Yes,
So the city had his fingerprints on file then.
they would have to.
Yeah, because
right?
they do background checks on everybody that works for the city. So,
He had a $10 million bail set for him. Got charged with 10 counts of murder.
What happened to his family?
So his wife, when he got arrested, his wife got a emergency divorce, which I guess like normally there's that wait period, right? Mm-hmm. They just like overrode it and like you got your divorce, you good. And they
Lucky
kind of
bitch.
like went off, right?
The rest of us have to wait in misery. She gets a emergency.
If only
one.
it could be that simple.
Yeah,
now.
if only, right?
Yeah, but no, the family kind of went off. Apparently the daughter's having a really hard time coming to terms that her dad's like,
yeah, who wouldn't?
But she still like to this day apparently she doesn't want to admit that is like the same person.
Well,
like,
please tell me she's not like visiting him in prison and shit.
She does write him letters and call.
No.
Wait, how old were they when he got caught? Were they little?
They were.
Because that might be why she doesn't want to come to
No,
terms
she was
with
like late teens, early 20s.
I was gonna say that's kind of weird if they did a pass smear on a young child that young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I mean, they had enough probable cause to force him to give a DNA sample.
Yeah.
I don't
get that part.
Route.
I don't get it.
But so he got sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences with a minimum of 175 years.
Once again, here we go with these ridiculous life sentences that no one on the planet can live 175 years.
Yeah. Like why even give a minimum?
Yeah.
At that point.
Exactly. And he's probably getting disability and PPP loans and all this other stuff while he's sitting in prison, right?
So he's in solitary confinement. He gets 1 hour of exercise a day and showers 3 times a week. But as of 2006, he was actually allowed access to television and radio and to read magazines and other privileges for good behavior.
Oh, he's so good.
Like, how do you have good behavior in solitary confinement?
Well, because you have no contact with other people. There's no one there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, good job for sitting by yourself.
Good job for not, shitting in your hand and throwing it at the guard.
Yeah.
Like a normal gorilla would do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do they ever like go back and talk to the parents or to his mom or siblings?
I think they did interview the wife extensively. Yes. They wanted to know if she knew about it.
Yeah, because there's a TV show with one of the episodes is with the family. Really? Yeah, with the family talks. I didn't watch it. I couldn't find where.
So I remember when he got caught, everybody was like in shock because he's this, average Joe church-going guy, and they show a picture of him. He's got the 5-finger forehead, but he's got this goatee, and he's got like these, glasses, and he just looks void of life. Really? Like the look in his eyes just always looked void to me. Yeah. And I remember when these letters were coming in, in Wichita, it's a small town, all right? The cops there are probably not the brightest bulbs on the porch. So he literally had to make a mistake like that to get caught. Yeah. So this could have gone on for a lot longer if he wouldn't have turned in the floppy disk.
Yeah, because he strangled all of them. Either with like a rope, plastic bag.
There had to be DNA.
Belt,
there had to be a DNA.
Yeah. And it's not like it was that long ago to where they didn't do DNA back then.
Anything after the 80s is fair game for DNA.
Yeah.
So, okay, so he gave a full confession then.
Full confession.
Now, was that because they took the death penalty off the table, or what was his reasoning?
He was like, hey, want to know? Yeah. So they've actually had people go and actually like interview him. Right? To make,
I'm sure.
On him, and he just like loves it.
Like, yeah. That's like the guy that I did, the Toolbox Killer.
Yeah.
He loved it. He was just living it up, and he was famous, and that's sick shit. Is he at Leavenworth?
El Dorado.
Oh, Colorado.
Correctional facility. Is where they moved him to.
That's for all the mass murderers.
Oh yeah?
Really?
It's high security. Very high security.
Yeah. So, but they've so like Stephen King, one of his novels, A Good Marriage, was actually based on him.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. They did a Criminal Minds episode
on him.
Yep. On Netflix, there's a series called Mindhunter, and it's actually based on the BTK Killer.
Oh wow!
Wait, the entire series or one of the episodes is based? I've never watched that show.
One of the characters based. I don't know which character, but one of the characters in Mindhunter, I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
It's actually based on him.
In the show, they interview all these famous serial killers, and they're supposed to be the actual killers.
Oh,
they
really?
probably had
a
guy that was
BTK.
So that's super interesting.
Yeah.
And he's. We don't know though if he even is aware of these shows, right?
No, I mean I'm surprised. His daughter probably.
Yeah, his daughter's probably.
That's
and
right.
he probably loves it.
Yeah, it's feeding him.
Right?
So did he have a daughter and a son?
It only says about a daughter. So, like, it did say 2 kids.
I thought I read
but I
2
could
kids.
only find the daughter when I was looking. Which I don't know if maybe the son was young to where it's kept him out.
I think this case got so much news because 1, it was a small town, and 2, it was very just egregious baiting the police. You know, I hate to say this, but you know, if this would have happened in LA or, you know, Miami or a larger city, this guy probably would have been caught a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you're dealing with Barney Fife, you know, and his 1 bullet, and there's just not enough resources to find a guy like that in a small town.
It's just crazy, like how well known he was. You know, like,
well, around that small town.
Yeah, like,
because that's where he grew up, right? He's been there forever.
Yeah, he was in the Air Force. Like, he's a well-respected.
Oh, he was in the military too.
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
in,
so his stuff was definitely on file then.
He was a staff sergeant. He had the Air Force Good Conduct Medal, Small Arms Expert, Marksmanship Ribbon, National Defense Service Medal. Like, he served 4 years in the Air Force. So, you know, when you look at him from the outside,
yeah,
you know, here's your churchgoer who's a Cub Scout leader and a veteran.
So did it ever say anything about what happened to his mother? Like, were they estranged when he became an adult, or did she pass away at a young age, or?
It said that they just didn't get along. It just said that it wasn't like a healthy upbringing.
Okay, so he just had no relationship with her.
Correct.
What about a father? Was there one?
There was a father, but he wasn't active.
Okay, so they were split up, and he was just kind of here nor there. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting, but again, the consistency is, of course, my theory of the 5-finger forehead, and the mother issues, the mommy issues, right?
Yes.
That are getting
He had
passed
more than
through.
a 5-finger forehead. It was like.
Oh, it was like a 10-finger forehead?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can we just interrupt? How did you come up with that theory?
Okay, so so the way I came up with it was we always show photos of these serial killers, and the consistency was this 5-finger forehead, right? Where there's, you know, no hair touching, and it's just a lot of forehead. And I'm like, there's got to be something to this. And then it kept going and going, and I'm like, there's got to be a theory here of it. And I think out of all the cases we've discussed, maybe there's been 1 or 2 that have not met that requirement.
Interesting.
But
You'll
hair,
start noticing it.
You'll
now.
start
No,
noticing it
looking.
because the hair typically starts growing here back, and then there's nothing up front. So I'm like wondering if there's some type of pattern here. So you've got the 5-finger forehead, the mommy issues, torturing animals in some of them, hatred towards women mostly, or
helpless victims.
Yeah, and you know they tend to try to go towards prostitutes or women that people won't look for. Right, so you know, their family's obviously probably
like
not
a
in touch.
druggie, a prostitute,
right?
Homeless.
Yeah.
I'm just still curious, like, what happened to make him turn to kids? Like, that's still stuck in my head.
Well,
like,
that part was inconsistent with his other stuff.
Yeah, I think that was just honestly like a sporadic killing for him, and it was like everyone's in the home, let's just
do it,
kind of kill him type deal. Yeah.
How did he kill him on that one?
Strangled.
Oh, he's
strangled.
Each family member without any of them fighting back?
Correct. He
I have to see a picture of this guy. Is he strong, built? No.
So the dad, Joseph, he suffocated with a plastic bag. Julie, the mom, got strangled with a rope. The 9-year-old got suffocated with a plastic bag, and the 11-year-old got hanged with a rope. How you do that?
Individually. Because you can't do it all together.
Like, it's one thing if you walk in and you just shoot them, right? Like,
right.
It's done.
Yeah, because they're all done.
Or if they're sleeping. But it's like in the middle of the day.
No, yeah. Something's not up with that.
30, 60 seconds each.
That's it's...
Well, it's not instant. That's for sure.
Yeah, like there's going to be a fight if you put a bag over someone or even if you strangle someone.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, so...
So, as predicted, he divulged all his little fetishes and secrets and what he did and where he hid all of their personal items. That's another thing. Some of them will take the personal items because they want to relive it.
It's like a souvenir.
Each time
too.
it's a souvenir,
like a token.
Or they'll masturbate to it, or they'll, just relive it.
Yeah.
The photos is, the photos and video is something that I've never understood. Like, you're gonna get caught. If you take photos and video, someone's gonna find it because you could never really erase anything off a computer.
No. even a floppy disk. You know, it's still going to track you back.
Yeah. So I can't believe, Jesus, were we using floppy disks in 2004? I just,
You know, the early 2000s, I want to say there was like we were transitioning from floppy disk to CDs.
Jesus.
All right, I don't know what the floppy disk is.
Oh,
you
God,
guys.
she's young. She doesn't even know what a floppy disk is.
It's the square disc that you stick in the tower of it. It was what you used before CDs.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
it
it's like
was
your memory card.
Floppy disk, then CD, and then thumb
Like-
drive.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was, yeah. We're old.
I didn't think I was that old.
We are, apparently. We are.
Yeah.
Anything else on this?
No, that's it on that one.
Okay, well, that's good. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's episode of Talking Decon. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok at Crime Scene Cleaning. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're notified of all new episodes. Have a great day.